Hey folks, Brendan from Bluelight here. Now, if you are thinking about submitting an application to join the police, this video is for you because I'm going to highlight 5 big mistakes that would have failed the 3 application forms I've just checked this afternoon. So one of the services I provide is I actually check people's application forms, give them feedback on what's going to work, what needs changing, and these are 5 things that are they occurred in every one of the application forms. They're all for the same force, by the way. They're all for the Lancashire Constabulary, who ask questions around diversity, equality and inclusion, being emotionally aware, challenging yourself, and analysing critically. So quite a varied amount of questions there, and they give you a lot of word count as well. You've got like 300 words to answer the questions in. So no excuses of there's not enough room to provide the detail that they're looking for. So if you're a serving police officer, you might want to watch this as well, because these sort of issues crop up in application forms for promotion, for specialist positions. They are endemic. Why? Because I don't think anyone's actually shown you how to complete an application form. I know from talking to many of you that you've gone through college, you've gone through university, and no one has actually shown you how to complete an application form. Let me just turn that down, a little blip there. It's my computer making buzzing noises, and someone's doing some building around the corner as well, so it might be a real background noise video, this one. All right, let's get on with it. Number 1, and we're going to read off my notes here. Number 1. Yeah, so the question was about a challenge that you've overcome to achieve something both professionally or personally. Professionally or personally. Now, the individual here gave a great answer to a different question, and this happens all the time. The answer was great, but it was the answer to a different question. He actually provided an answer for how he supported someone else who was having a challenge that they needed to overcome. So if the question was, please can you tell me about a time when you supported another person to overcome a challenge or a barrier or an obstacle, the answer would have been brilliant. But it wasn't. That wasn't the question. So that's the first thing, and this happens all the time. Answer the question, folks. Don't answer the question you're hoping you're going to be asked. And that goes for interviews as well. The amount of people I've done, times I've done coaching with people for interviews, and they've given me an awesome answer to a different question. All right, so you may have practiced and pre-prepared your answers, but make sure you're delivering your answer to the right question. All right, so that's number 1. What we got? Number 2, no detail. No detail. So in this particular answer, this was around analysing critically. This individual said that they'd identified the issue, but they didn't tell me what the issue was, and they didn't tell me the reason behind the issue, it being an issue. There was an issue with certain facilities. Yes, what was the issue? After consultation with the people involved, yes, who did you consult and how did you consult them? I implemented a solution to the problem. I don't even know what the solution was. Actually, the bit that really confused me was about girls at school not having to change their footwear. That might have been a brilliant solution, but I didn't get it because I didn't know what the issue was in the first place. I didn't know what the reasons behind it were. I didn't actually know any detail whatsoever. And bearing in mind that the question is all about analysing critically, you do need to actually have that information to hand in your answer. So that's number 2. Let's see, what's number 3? Oh yes, number 3. This is a big one. This happens all the time, especially in interviews as well. 2 phrases. We decided, we organised. We decided and we organised. So as the assessor, I don't know who you're talking about there. I don't know whether you're talking about you and what you did or what someone else did. So I can't mark it. I can't mark it. Does that make sense? There is no we. There is no we. In the application form answers and the interview answers, there's no we. There's just I. There's just I. So there's number 3. Number 4, COVID. Right, this is a question about overcoming challenges. And what this individual said was that they couldn't perform certain activities because of COVID. But when the lockdown started easing, the government brought in certain regulations and so certain rules as to how they could keep those activities going, reopen the activities. And so basically what they described is how they implemented the government guidelines. But where was the challenge? The question is about overcoming challenges to achieve something either professionally or personally. Where were the challenges? All you did was just implement government guidelines. Now, if there are people being obstructive, if there are individuals saying, I'm not getting involved, if there are individuals saying, no, that's not going to happen, that's what makes it challenging. Simply implementing guidelines or a rule book or things that you've got to do as a checklist, that's just not challenging. Now, I know some of you are going to say, yeah, but COVID's been so challenging for all of us. Yeah, I get that. But this is about you overcoming a challenge or a barrier to something that stops you achieving something professionally or personally, and how you overcame that challenge or barrier. Implementing government guidelines is not a challenge. Oh, some of you might think it is at times. It really isn't. It's not what they're looking for. It's not what they're looking for. So that's number 4. Number 5. Back to analysing critically. Listen, the crux of analysing critically, and I've got it here. You know, this is you need to look at the CVF sometimes, folks. The individual was looking at a problem in the school. They did the baseline survey, didn't say how, they got valuable data, what was it and why was it valuable, and then he went straight to a plan. Straight to I then came up with a plan where I did X, Y, and Z. The question's about analysing critically, folks. So you need to talk about how you took in the information accurately, how you ensured it was accurate, how you separated the information and decided whether it was relevant or irrelevant, and what was important. How you went about understanding the reasons behind the data. Did you refer to any procedures and precedents? So that would have been things like school policy in this case. Did you weigh up the pros and cons of the possible actions? Now, the individual in their answer did say at the end, I learned that it's good to weigh up the pros and cons of my actions. Simply repeating things from the CVF, that's number 6, by the way. I did say 5, but that's number 6. Don't just repeat phrases and think that's going to get you a tick. You need to demonstrate how you weighed up the pros and cons, not just saying that you did so. Potential risks, nothing about that. Gaps and inconsistencies in the information and potential implications, nothing there. There was nothing in there. You just went straight from gathering information to a plan. The analysing critically bit, the bit that the question's actually all about, wasn't there. It just wasn't there. So that would score a big 0, a big 0. So there you go, folks. There's 5 things from live application forms, things I'm dealing with now. If those 3 individuals had submitted those application forms without correcting those huge issues, there's every chance that the application form would fail. And they'd be thinking, why is that? My example was great. Yeah, your examples, except for the one where you answered a different question, the examples are good examples. It's how you write them up that is so important, folks. How you write them up is so, so important. And it's not your fault. No one's ever shown you how to do this. A failing of our education system in my books, that you can go through school, college and university and no one shows you how to complete a good application form for your future career, is a failing of our educational system. There you go, I'm going to put that out there. Fortunately, I geek out on this kind of stuff. It fascinates me. Can you believe that? If I told my younger 20-year-old self that one day you're going to go back to university in your mid-30s, where you're going to study personnel evaluation systems, processes, competency and standardization and qualification systems at master's level in education. I would have said, you're joking, aren't you? That's not me. You've got the wrong person. But I did, and I loved it. And I've geeked out on that stuff ever since. Geek out on it so much that I've been able to help thousands of you to achieve your dream job in the police. And now also for those of you who are in the police to achieve your dream specialist position, promotion, or whatever it might be. So you want to find out more, folks, the link's below. And if this has been good for you, please do, like it, subscribe, all of that stuff. If you're following it on Facebook, you like it. That's what you do. Do you like it? You like it on both, don't you? YouTube and Facebook. You share it on YouTube, share it on Facebook, subscribe. Anyway, all of those things. Just do all of those things. All right, folks, so listen, I look forward to speaking to you at some point again in the future with another video to help you succeed in achieving your dream of joining the police, or once you're in the police, having major, massive success, a fulfilling and successful career. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye for now.